story of the Chinese bamboo tree? You guys heard this? And I figured a few of you had. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because, first of all, if you come to my house, anything that has to do with a plant, you're going to die. It's just I'm a black thumb. My kids and my husband survive and our dog, and that's about it. So this fascinates me. But if you know the story of the Chinese bamboo tree, you're going to take this itty-bitty seed, and you're going to plant it, and you're going to water it, and fertilize it every single day. And guess what happens after the first year? Nothing. Isn't that fun? The second year, you're going to do the same thing every single day. You're going to water it and fertilize it, and what happens after a year? Nothing. Okay, so we go into the third and the fourth year, and guess what happens? Nothing, but you have to water it and fertilize it every single day. And I'm sure this can be discouraging. However, the people that are consistent and do this every single year, they know in the fifth year something crazy is going to happen, right? Okay, so sometime during that fifth year, when they're fertilizing and watering that seed, that bamboo tree sprouts 90 feet in 6 weeks, right? So sometimes we feel like that with our business, right? We're consistently working every day. We're having our shows. We're doing the return exchanges, and we're just doing all the little bitty tasks day in and day out. And sometimes we wonder, is something going to happen? Well, I'm here to tell you, after 8 years in this business and working it, I am honored to see those seeds sprouting continuously. And that's all because of working consistently and being persistent, and things finally start to happen. So I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about the importance of consistency in our business. So consistency means time spent with focus in mind, our purpose. And we hear that a lot in Premier. So I'm going to ask you right now, what is your purpose? Now, as leaders, how many of us stand in front of our groups and we ask them to tell us their why and why they got into the business, right? We do it continuously. But as leaders, and I'm speaking to myself here, I don't always evaluate my why and purpose. It seems like whenever I go to talk about my why, I go back to the first days in Premier and I start sharing why I got into the business and not what my purpose is now. And so if you have a pen and paper or your notes in your phone, I want you to write down your why. And if you don't know exactly what it is today, I want to make sure you know before you get off this boat, because you're surrounded with people that love you and want to encourage and help you do that. But it's keeping that focus in mind in your purpose that you're going to go to the next level. As leaders, are we always keeping that purpose in front of us? Consistency is also a sense of security. It encourages responsibility, it reduces our stress, and it increases our predictability. So I'm going to take those 4 categories and kind of break it down and how consistency is going to help in these areas. So let's look at security first. So what does this look like in our business? So we have to have a balance with our shows, our sponsoring, our team development, and our personal development. So I love how Jane Francis taught me to look at this. So if you're in a car has 4 tires, right? They all need to be moving at the same time and the same speed, and if they're not, you're going to have a little bit of a problem, right? You're either not going to go or you're going to be spinning in circles. So let's look at the 4 tires. The first tire is going to be your shows. So how many shows are you having every single month, and are you consistently doing that? For my business, I'm still in the growing process, and so I try to do 2 shows a week, or events. So I kind of look at my calendar that way. Sponsoring. As leaders, and a lot of you have just promoted to designer, you need to keep going and focus on sponsoring 7 to 10 every single year, because that is consistently going to keep you moving forward. As far as team development goes, what are you consistently doing with your jewelers to help that? So training, we have training every single month on a consistent Monday, every 4th week of the month. So the jewelers know that, and it's in the same spot. Also, opportunity presentations. Are you holding them in a consistent time so that your jewelers know when they're at a show, they don't have to pull up their schedule and figure out when the next OP is. they know that consistently it's on your calendar. And then individual help. Okay, we all have the jewelers who got into Premier to be our friend, and we have the jewelers that got into Premier to have a business. And so when you look at your time and consistently working, you need to work with the ones that want to work. And so we always tell our girls, we're going to work as hard with you as you're willing to work your business. And so to keep that team development healthy, we tend to focus on that view. Also, your personal growth. I love to go to optional trainings. It's a time for me to sit back and relax. I love our area. We have several leaders in our area, and so we share different trainings, or it allows us to go and just be refreshed and sit back and learn. Also hanging with other leaders. Do you guys know Megan Von Dilligan? She's in my area. We have the breakfast club. So we meet every once in a while with our breakfast club and just be able to hang out and encourage one another. Also reading. I am not a big reader, but I make myself read. I'm a person, like, more people around me, the better. And so when I have to sit alone with a book, I'm just like... But reading, I make myself read because you're going to learn a lot of really good things to help you. And then last but not least, rest. Do a lot of you know what that word is? Because I don't very well. So resting is going to give you a security in your business because you're going to be energized and ready to go. All right, so the second point is consistency encourages responsibility. So consistency will help you to uphold the responsibility we have as leaders in Premier. To me, this is a big one because we need to be walking the walk and talking the talk and not just talking the talk. You follow me? So we as leaders need to be doing what we're supposed to be doing because jewelers look up to us and they watch us every single move we make, literally. So we show others that we are working towards our why and our purpose. And so I'm going to go back to that purpose and why from what I talked about earlier. How many of you consistently share your why and your purpose with your team? So sometimes we see as leaders, we don't want them to think that it's all about us, and we don't tend to share that. But I have found that when I share my why with my team, it creates this unity. And I have to brag. I feel like my team has an amazing unity. We love to be around each other. We love to encourage each other. During the promotion time, I had them calling, how close are you? And I'm going, I don't know, I don't want to look. So it was just a team effort, and it's really cool because they do watch everything you're doing. And when they know your why, they're seeing you meet those goals, and it takes it all into perspective for them. Also, our credibility is real when we are doing what we're supposed to be doing. And so we want to make sure that when our jewelers see us, they see us as the real deal, full of integrity, and working our business in the way that we should be working. We are showing our faith in action, that we are looking to the goals that we feel God has given us, and we're going for that. Okay, consistency also is going to reduce your stress. Right? You didn't know that you were going to just get a relaxation speech today. So we're going to go back to balance. Balance is something I struggle with because I am all about Premier. I love it. I love my team. I love their families. And I could just spend all my time with them, right? And so that's not the way it's supposed to always work. So I'm going to look at your business first. We're going to look again at our calendar. How many have seen the Post-it note calendars? They're kind of big. Have you guys seen them? They're really cute. So they're like $10. And so we have this calendar at our house that is going to show us kind of our month in advance. And so it's stuck on the door as we go in and out. And it has the 4 weeks, and it has all these different colored Post-it notes. I'm 130% choleric, so I could care less about the colors, but my kids love it. And it's easy to visually look up and see Madison has this, Mason has this, I have a show, and so we have it up there. So I love seeing it because I know it's kind of my checklist, and I'm going to get this done. My husband, he walks over and he's about to have a panic attack and has to walk away. So we just know it's going to get done around our house, but I love that. Also, so I'll tie that back in a minute. So your shows, I'll be able to see my shows for the week and make sure it's balanced. Also, setting time aside for your business is very important. And so a lot of the times I'll say, I'm going to set office hours this week, and I just have to pick a day in the week where I'm going to set 3 hours aside, turn my phone on Do Not Disturb, don't go to Facebook, don't do any of that stuff, and I make my list. And I always start with the things I don't want to do the most first, and my favorite part of it last. And so we just kind of work through that and get it done. Sometimes I feel like my list doesn't all get accomplished, but I love what Joni Brummel taught me. You're going to have your must do, should do, could do. So the must do has to get done today. Should do, you can go to after you get must, and could do is the stuff that doesn't necessarily have to get done right now. So that helps me balance a lot. And then you need time to meet with your hostesses and your jewelers. It's our responsibility to make sure our hostesses know what to do, but also our jewelers, because sometimes we think they're really just taking it all in and understanding it, but that's not always the case. So that's your business. And then your family, this ties into that Post-it note calendar too. I love Premiere, like I said, and so sometimes I leave my family on the back burner. In fact, in February, I said, you guys, I was jumping around the house like a fool when I saw that promotion come across. And so I just told them, there's going to be a little sacrifice this month. But they were so excited because they know our goals. But on this family calendar that we have for the Post-it notes, I always look to see which nights are blank. So anything that is not filled in, and I put a big X through it. And that becomes our family time, and there is nothing the kids can do about it, and there's nothing that we're going to schedule that night. So it helps us really kind of budget our time and just visually see. And if we don't have those nights, we're going to make sure we have at least once a week or sometime. And even if we're just in the same home, we have to have that balance. Our goals with our families, we sit down with our kids and they know our goal. In fact, we have these little mason jars, and in one of the jars, it has little bitty diamonds, and each of those diamonds represent a jeweler in our 10-10-10. And then we have a big diamond, and that represents each of our designers. And so we have it in one mason jar, and then the other mason jar next to it has whatever we need to get to the next level. I'm a visionary. We're always having this in front. So this helps my kids visually see this. And so it was really cool when we promoted to 4 diamond, each of the kids were able to put that last diamond in. And then my son is after my heart. He looks at me and said, what's next? 5 diamond, let's do it. And they wanted to fill it back up. So I was like, yes, let's go. So I just love that. They see the bigger picture. And in fact, they're starting to learn some of the friends that we hang around, and they want to know about their family and what level they're at and what do they do as a family. And I love that. All right. And then the third part of this reducing your stress with your balance is God. What are you doing each day to spend time with the Lord? Is He your first priority? I heard this quote the other day, and I absolutely loved it, and it put it into perspective for me. It says, the day we stop following the dreams God has put in us is the day we allow ourselves to go on autopilot. When our biggest desire starts to shift from seeing God do great things to making everyone as comfortable as possible, we know we are losing sight to how big God is. So when we pull that down a little bit, sometimes in our businesses we tend to look over here at this jeweler that really needs us, and we're coddling her and loving on her, and we're supposed to do that. But we're not here to make her as comfortable as she can be. We're here to present a business to her, to help her succeed, and we need to set boundaries. That Boundaries for Leaders by Henry Cloud is awesome, to set those boundaries that are going to keep us from doing that, because God has a purpose and plan for you, and it's each different. And so we need to help our girls decide that, but it's not up to us to make them comfortable all the time. In fact, our saying around our training is, get comfortable with the uncomfortable. So I love that. So are you taking your business and your dreams and your desires to God? He has made us each different and unique, and we all have desires in our heart. His word says, take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. That's Psalm 37:4. And I just want to take a little brief preaching moment here. So if you don't know God, or you think you know God, but you're not sure, you need to seek out somebody this week that does. Because I'm telling you right now, the one thing that you can do to completely change your business is give your life to Jesus. Because He will do huge things in and through you. I promise that not just your life, but your business is going to be changed forever, and it is worth the time. So find somebody, please. I'm begging you. All right, so the fourth part we're going to talk about is we're going to increase our predictability when we're consistent. That's kind of just a no-brainer here. So each one of us has a goal. You all know what your goal is right now. And our goal is only a dream without a plan. So what are your plans for your business, and how often do you consistently look at your goals? Something we also do at our training a lot is the Zoom focus sheet, because I love how the Zoom focus kind of gives you snapshots of the next 5 years. So you know where you're at now, but you can look 1 year from now, where do you want to be? 2, and then all the way up to 5. You're going to discuss your strengths. You're going to find things that you can give up and time you can sacrifice to help you meet that. And I just love it because it helps you develop a plan. And especially if you're doing it in a group setting, you can kind of help hold people accountable, but also say, you know, let's strive a little harder in this area. Or that might be a little extreme, but let's see what you can do here. All right, so every quarter you're going to look at where you are and see if you're on the right track. So every quarter I look at my goals and see if I'm on track for that. And shows. When we consistently hold shows, our business is going to keep growing, right? We keep working, it's predictable, we keep growing. So keep it simple. A lot of the times we as jewelers get wrapped up in the next big thing, or we try to reinvent the wheel or come up with a new idea. We have amazing leaders in here. In fact, pretty much my whole training came from a lot of the leaders in here that they went and they've done all this and they know what works well. And we need to keep it simple. I always tell my team it takes one show to turn your business around, but you can do every part of your business when it comes to your jewelry shows at a jewelry show, right? You can book shows, you can sponsor at shows, you can hostess coach at shows, and then when you get home, you can put your bag on a shelf and you're ready for the next jewelry show. So if we keep it simple, I'm telling you, it will make a world of difference. So real quick, God put this on my heart this week as I was praying about the training, and there are hardships in consistency. Sometimes we get little roadblocks and we get discouraged or we lose focus of what God has put in front of us. And so I want to share this. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance, which is linked to consistency. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete and lack nothing. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt. Believe your beliefs, doubt your doubts. Because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. And that's James 1. I'm telling you, if you're doubting today, we're on a big ocean. We don't need any big waves. So if you're doubting yourself today, find somebody that's going to encourage you. It's easy to get distracted, but we must keep our eyes focused on our why and let our passion drive us. We need to let consistency drive us to excellence and not mediocrity. Did you know you didn't wake up today just to be mediocre? It's true. We must persevere. So one thing that I've noticed over the last couple of years in Premier is just all of you desiring to love on each other, encourage, and help. And it really just overflows my heart with joy, because the commitment level and going into the next generation, I just feel very secure that we are really taking our purpose, philosophy, and plan into all of our businesses. So if we can join together and consistently work our business and continue to encourage one another and consistently work our business, our goals will start being met and new goals will have to be set. Funny thing is, God gave me a word at the beginning And in November, he gave me the word consistency. And so here I am today telling you about consistency, and I love that. So let's claim 2016 to be a year of great consistency, of great growth, and you may want to join me. I have a hashtag even greater 2016.